All right, I'm going to run down some more of these expenses just to give you an idea, and then there's a couple of other things that we should get to. Jeez, that time flies when you're having fun. If you have a piece of professional equipment, and I'll talk about that in a minute, and it's broken and you have it repaired, that's a deduction. If you decide to butter up a possible employer with a gift, or your agent with a gift, you may deduct up to $25 per year for that gift to an individual or that individual's family. They have not changed this number, $25, since Mary Lou and I started doing taxes 7 years ago.
$25 per person.
I thought it was $50 a few years ago.
There you go. You see, you were
Trudy
told
Durant
wrong.
said it was $50.
No.
That's Trudy Durant said that.
Well, there might have been
at
two.
the time.
No, it's always been $25 the whole time, per person. Now, if there are two people in the office, you can make two gifts of $25 per person.
This doesn't include bribes then, right?
Bribes are not, unfortunately, not deductible. It's right there in the tax code.
It's true.
Your office supplies, stationery, and postage are deductible. Professional makeup and hair care is a little iffy. You really were not going to get away with it unless you are spending money for dressing room supplies and getting your hair done for a professional engagement. Just to look swell is not deductible, because everybody on Wall Street wants to look swell, but they don't get to deduct it. Specialized costumes, wardrobe, stage rehearsal, and maintenance is what it says here, and dance clothes are deductible. They gave dancers a hard time here in New York a few years ago when they wouldn't let them, they being the IRS, deduct leg warmers, because leg warmers became fashionable for non-dancers, and you cannot deduct anything in the matter of clothing if it can be worn unobtrusively on the street. It has to be a costume or a piece of work clothing. I don't know what they're doing with leg warmers now. They probably backed off of that. But dancers are the few people that we see next door who have legitimate costume deductions, because every dancer, of course, has special shoes and leotards, leg warmers, etc. Small equipment, what? I don't know. You buy some batteries for your tape recorder, what? Any kind of small equipment that costs less than $100. When it gets over $100, you have to get in some complicated tax preparation called depreciation. Supplies for research. Well, that's all the stuff. The music, the CDs, the books, the scripts, the videos, all pertaining to your profession. Tax preparation. If you pay Trudy, her fee is a tax deduction. Telephone. This is getting sticky.
Yes.
There was a time when people would appropriately deduct a percentage of their home telephone. That has been out the window for a number of years. You may not, and I will use may and can appropriately from time to time. You can do just about anything you want. You may not, however, do it under the law. You may not deduct any part of your home telephone bill if you have a single line, except a business percentage of such features as call waiting or caller ID. If you have two lines, and one of them is designated as a business line, you may deduct that second telephone. Well, what is happening now is everybody's using his cell phone, and many have a home phone. The trouble with cell phones is they list every bloody call you make. And I mean, they're not nice down there, but they're not stupid.
Do you have to itemize which ones are designated for business if they audit you?
Well, this is where it gets messy, you see. If you only have the one line, the one cell phone, forget it. If you have two lines, and this is what I do for myself. I have a cell phone. All the personal calls are on the cell phone. I have a regular line, for which I pay entirely too much, that I don't use except for incoming calls. So that's my business line, and I'm going to write that one off altogether. And if they don't like it, I say, well, here's this cell phone bill. Do you want to pay this thing? And I'll take off that second line. Long-distance business calls, however, no matter what line they're on, are deductible. But you would have to, of course, be able to substantiate the fact that the numbers on your telephone bill are, in fact, business calls. Any calls made from the street, nobody makes them anymore. But we used to say, well, you
Can't find a payphone.
You're throwing
anymore.
quarters into a payphone, all of those calls are deductible, but nobody has them anymore. But if you do, they're deductible too. Tickets for research, that's a good one. What do you mean you had to go to the ballet? Well, I'm a ballet dancer, you nincompoop. Of course I had to go to the ballet. Well, how come? Well, because I go to the ballet because I may work for that ballet company. There might be a replacement in that ballet company. I need to know who the people are involved in that ballet company. That's why I go to the ballet, and it's my profession and not yours.
And it's research, not entertainment.
That's
Because
right.
It's for your
You.
profession. right?
If you tip backstage folks, dressers, etc., that's deductible. Trade publications, those are casting notices backstage, self-evident. Transportation seeking employment is major. It is a major expense. And you should be able to keep track of how much money you spend getting from your home to that audition, to that interview, to that place, to career transition for dancers, to Actors Equity, to the Actors Fund, Screen Actors Guild, AFTRA, all in pursuit of employment. If you go out of town looking for work, and people do, that's called travel seeking employment, and that's got its own little niche in the tax return, but that too is deductible. And union dues and initiation fees, of course, are deductible. They have that one right on the tax return, on the Form 1040. Now, equipment, they hate to give you a deduction for the stuff you bought. Your tape recorders, your VCRs, your DVDs, and all of that stuff, they hate to do it, but you should keep a record of the expense involved in a piece of professional equipment, audio, visual equipment.
Luggage.
Well, luggage if you're traveling, sure. And then don't try to take off the whole thing. They never give you 100%. So your television set 100% for business. Are you out of your mind? Then you have to bargain with them. Some dude down in Washington said, you make a $3,000 contribution to your Roth and you don't make a lot of money? Your income is not that high? I'm going to let you knock off a significant number of dollars off your tax bill because you made a $3,000 contribution to your Roth.
Not off your income, off the tax.
Off your tax. You say if you had a $1,500
Deduction.
tax, no, if your tax was $1,500, not that you're going to pay that because we haven't got to the money that was withheld, but at the top of the second page of the tax form it says your total tax is $1,500 and you put $3,000 into a Roth, they might let you knock off $200 just for making the contribution. It's like a rebate.